Alright, Outlaw Radio Live fans, we are live on the air with none other than the legendary Baby S. How are you doing tonight?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I'm chilling.
Hey, man, first off, I want to say, man, I've been a fan of yours for a very long time, so thank you so much in advance for just providing us with your time, man. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, man. It's nothing, man. It's an easy call.
So, I have to ask you, man, what made you decide to get into the music industry?
Oh, man, back in the day, somebody took me to go see Beat Street when I was, like, in second grade or something like that, and, like, right after I seen that, I was done. I think it's that one where Dougie Fresh was on the thing, and they did the little Christmas rap. I'm like, oh, yeah, I want to be a rapper.
Oh, man, Dougie Fresh, you cannot go wrong with that legendary individual. That's going way back.
Right. No, hey, you know what? It wasn't even Dougie Fresh. It was Kool Moe D.
Oh, crap. That's way back.
Yeah, it was Kool Moe D back in the day on the B Street movie.
Hey, man,
yeah, that was it right there, though. Yeah. So that's pretty much it, though, man.
Hey, you know what, man? It's pretty much a set in stone from there, you know what I mean? You went to that concert, and boom, this is what I want to do.
Right. Now, it was a movie. It wasn't even no concert. It was like a movie at the theater. I went to the movie theater in L.A. at the Baldwin Hills movie theater. They ain't even got that no more, but yeah, I seen that movie, and it was a done-da-da.
So I also have to ask, you also had producer Battlecat help you out as you were coming up. How did you and Battlecat meet?
I met Battlecat back in, I think, like, 95 at Backroom Studio, because I was working with another producer, rest in peace, Emmanuel Dean. That's the dude that did all the keyboards on Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg album, Doggy Style. But he was producing me at that time. He the one that did my first album, in-house music. And, we went up to back room, and, I was snooping around the studio and went upstairs and ran into Battlecat, and I was like, I freestyled with him. And ever since then, I just kept coming up to the studio and, like, sitting and writing while Battlecat was working on beats. I'll be sitting there writing my raps. And they used to say, oh, man, we like you, because I used to go to the studio. I never used to say nothing. I used to just sit there and write raps all day because, I really felt Battlecat beats back then. Grew up on Battlecat, and that was like an opportunity for me to write over some real heat. Like something I really wanted to write on. So I used to just sit there and write, like get all the raps I could get, just sitting there writing. And they like, oh man, we like you, man, because you be sitting there writing your raps, and that's how I like Buddy right there. Me just sitting writing raps under Battlecat.
When you brought up Snoop Dogg earlier, you also did a song with Snoop Dogg called We Get Money. I have to ask, what was it like working with the legendary Snoop Dogg?
Oh, yeah, man, Snoop, it was cool, man. When We Get Money, We Get Money is taken from another song I did with Snoop called Do It Right. So, originally, we dropped Do It Right at Snoop's studio in Hollywood. And, we went up in there. Snoop was blowing big weed. We blew big weed for about like an hour, 2 hours. And then we went in the studio, and I produced the one, Do It Right. So it's like, we went to the studio, they put my beat on, and I'm singing the hook or whatever, and then like Snoop started dropping his rap on there, and I thought it was like, that was super, really it was super, super, super legendary because I did that beat. So it's just like sitting there watching him drop verses to my beat. I'm like, oh, that was cold right there. That was like the most legendary part of it to me, is that Snoop was rapping on one of my beats. That's like, for me being like a producer, or on the production side, and having an artist at that stature lay stuff on my beat, that's like, like a dream come true for somebody that started doing beats. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, most
I'm a rapper. I'm not a producer. I mean, I'm a producer, but I'm really a rapper first. So that production is just like a little side thing. So for him to do that, that was big to me,
Yeah, that most definitely, going from the Beat Street movie, wanting to do what you do, and then having Snoop rapping on your beats, that most definitely is like, I made it. You know what I mean? Like, that's the point where you were like, whoa, okay, I made it. Snoop's doing his thing on my beat.
Hey, but me and Snoop go back further than that song we did, though. because I used to go to Snoop House with my big homie Keita Rock, and like I used to sit up at Snoop House smoking. Like I used to go to Snoop House, man. I used to take one of my homies or whatever with me in Snoop's studio. He'd just leave us in the studio, and like Snoop's studio, he'd have a gang of weed all over it. Like it wouldn't even be like it would be like the crumbs of the weed that he smoked all over the studio. So we would just be smoking on Snoop's crumbs of weed, which to a regular person it'd be like a half a zip just laying around smoking on Snoop's fire ass weed. So like me and Snoop had a group. We got a group called the Dog Fathers with the homie Rough Dog. We never did the group yet. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean it's been since he did the Dog Father album. We were supposed to do this group. So I'm like, I'm just sitting back with my fingers crossed. He probably ain't gonna never do this group, but we was supposed to do our group, Baby S, Rough Dog, and Snoop Dogg with the Dog Fathers. But that was right before the Eastsiders dropped. So I don't know what happened, but I know we got that group. Last time when we did that Do It Right song, I was asking about it because the record label I was working for, they wanted to put it out. So he like, let's do it. So I don't know why we didn't do it right then, because they was, they wanted to fund it or whatever. But Snoop a busy guy.
Oh, he's everywhere.
All respect to Dog Father. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all might see that group. You know what I'm saying? You never know. Never say never. So hopefully Snoop, we do that group, because that'd be bigger than life. But yeah, that's the homie though, man. That's the homie. The big homie.
Man, that's crazy. I actually didn't know you guys were gonna form a group, man. I really do hope that happens, man. That's fucking super trio right there.
Hell yeah, me too. Last time I talked to him, he was like, he gotta pick all the beats. He gotta pick the beats, and then I just the rapper, like, and that's cool. I'm totally like, I'm with that. Whenever my nigga want to do that, I'm with it. I'm not even like pushing the issue. I can just whatever, man. Whenever we do that, that's whatever. But you never know. You know how it is in the game. They be busy, man. People busy.
Oh yeah, Snoop's doing almost tons of shit nowadays. He's doing like his own little podcast, video logs and whatnot, and movies galore. Like, what hasn't Snoop Dogg done? That's what I want to know.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're right about that, bro. For real.
So in 1998, King T featured you on his track called "Squeeze Your Balls." What was it like working with King T, and how did that collaboration come to be?
Well, Squeeze Your Balls was really a song I had with my group Casino. That was our first single. So initially the song Squeeze Your Balls was me, Rum Seagull, and Lonnie Mac, the Casino. That was our song. But then like Battle Cat was working with the Aftermath, and he went and played it over at their studio for King T, and as soon as they heard it, they're like King T was like, oh man, I gotta have that song. You know what I'm saying? He wanted it for his album. So Battle Cat's like, definitely we doing that. So they called me up from the studio like, King T wanna do Squeeze Your Balls with you. So I'm like, hell yeah, because I already been hearing about King T, his album coming out on Aftermath. That was like the whole talk of the town at that time. Like all through Hollywood, all through LA, everybody knew Dr. Dre signed King T. So it wasn't like now, where people try to play it or whatever. They don't. It was like the biggest thing going on in LA. So when they called me, it was like, hell yeah. That was like I made it. It was like I made it, right? When they called me to say we doing this song for Aftermath, it was like I made it right then and there in my eyes, because I was just trying to get something out there, bro. So it's just like for me to do something on Aftermath, that was like humongous.
Oh yeah, Aftermath was really, really huge as well. Like around that time, '98, they got Eminem, whatnot. Like Dr. Dre signed Eminem, so they were really making some big moves.
It was before Dr. Dre signed Eminem, because I remember when he signed Eminem. Like really, when they started Aftermath, I was there. Like the my boy Emmanuel, he took me up to meet Dr. Dre back when they first when Aftermath started. So it was like everybody knew me up there, so I used to just come up to Aftermath all the time. They used to be at Record One. I used to come up there every day, eating up the food in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Just chilling. I'll be in the studio with Dr. Dre. He'd be working on something. I'll be in one chair, Dr. Dre be in the other chair. I thought that was big as life. But back then, like this before the King T album, this before everything else, it was like I wasn't as polished as a rapper as I am now. So I was just like the homie Baby S, that rap, but he still got to work on his shit. You know what I mean? But I was there with everybody. Like we used to party together. it'd be like strippers and shit. Like, man, it was crazy with Dr. Dre. It was crazy over there. And it was funny because, like, when I hooked up with Corrupt didn't even know that me and Dre was cool like that. Like, Corrupt did not know I already knew Dre. It was crazy, bro. That shit was so funny to me, man, because we was going to see Dr. Dre and Corrupt did not know I knew him, and it was just, like, weird because I've been knowing Dre for, like, years before I even knew Corrupt enough.
So I have to ask him. That was actually my next question. So also not long after you got featured on Corrupt's single "We Can Freak It." I actually have to ask, how did you meet Corrupt? Was it through Dr. Dre and whatnot?
No, I met Corrupt because he went after I did the song with King T, "Squeeze Your Balls." They was leaking it on the radio, like it was playing on the radio. It was like a big deal. So it was like this dude is like the next dude. So Corrupt was like, I want to sign you to my record label. Because that's when they had Entre. He was like, I want to sign you to the record label. Blah, 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 blah. That's when it was on A&M. So, I'm like, hell yeah, let's do this. So he's like, oh, are you rolling with me? So I'm like, yeah, I'm rolling with you. So he was like, man, I was in the studio with Battlecat. He was like, well, basically we was at Backroom Studio. Battlecat was working on beats, and Corrupt was like, drop something on this one. And Battlecat was working on the We Can Freak It beat by itself. So I sat up in the studio while Battlecat finished that beat for We Can Freak It, and then I went in there and dropped my verse. My verse was originally like 16 bars. Like that verse I did on We Can Freak It really has more to the verse, but I forgot what it was now. But I'm just saying, I dropped that verse. I dropped the 16 to like do the 8. So I did 8 bars on it, and then they came in there and started writing the singing parts to the song and shit. And I was just like sitting there the whole time, like from the birth of the whole record,
That's crazy, man. That must have been one hell of a great experience. Being able to be there, watch such a legendary record come into motion. That's amazing.
The crazy part about it was, it's like I had, like back then, it's like all my music, everything I did was on a tape. Like, cause we didn't even have CDs. Like, CDs was out, but like, I didn't have a CD, I had a tape. Like, everything I did went on this one black tape, and I have the studio, like, whatever song I do, that's like, put this song on there. Whatever song I record, I have them put it on the tape. So I had this one tape, it was like We Can Freak It, Squeeze Your Balls was on there, like some of my demos was on there. All this, like, just all my Baby S stuff was on this one tape. And it was like that one tape, like, I never let that tape leave my sight except for one time. And it's when I gave it to my boy, and he got the record deal. It was like, I gave that tape to my boy, and next thing you know, A&M, I'm signing to A&M. Do a Corrupt label, Entre A&M.
And that's a really smart thing, man. You actually put all your work on a tape, man, because some of them record labels will steal up all your shit. So that's a really smart idea, man. If only a lot of artists did what you did, man. God knows what half the rappers would be nowadays.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro. For real. It's crazy business, man.
And speaking of a record deal, man, you were also signed to Ruthless Records. I have to ask, how did that record deal come to be, and what was it like working for Ruthless?
Well, let me see. The Ruthless deal came about because after, let me see, the We Can Freak It, I left Entre. I left the label that Corrupt had with A&M because the merger with Universal made Entre separate from A&M. So my manager suggested that we buck out and leave Entre while I was still hot or whatever, at that time. And then so we should like some paperwork right to get off the label. And then once I did the deal with Ruthless, I guess Ruthless gave them some money for me like to go to their label or whatever, just like a little bit of money for them to not for me to leave that label or whatever. But the Ruthless thing came about because my manager Shari shopped the deal, and that's the first label that jumped on it.
That's not
so we just Ruthless Records, Los Angeles, like it's like a historic thing. So I'm just like, yeah, let's do that, Ruthless, let's do it.
And that's pretty cool though. You know what I mean? Like, so this was obviously after Eazy passed on, correct?
Yeah, it was after he died. So I signed to Ruthless with Tamika.
Okay.
Tamika Wright.
I have to ask, what was she like? I've heard, like, I've read some stuff that she was mean. I've read some stuff that she was nice. Like, was she actually like a good business associate?
For me, like, all right. For me, let me see how I can phrase it. Tamika sucked business wise. She was cool. She was like a cool person because, like, you know, like at one time I feel like she was trying to holler at me. This was what was going on. Like we was trying to holler at each other at the time. And for me doing that, because when I first started coming around Ruthless, I was giving off that energy. So I think me doing that kind of like messed stuff up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like that right there was the first shenanigan problem over at Ruthless. The whole little flirtatious thing we had going. I shouldn't have did none of that. Then my manager, who was like, that goes way, way, way back with Easy, like real, probably like more history with Easy than Tamika had. Her, my manager, and Tamika got into it, like a big old, super big altercation at the office. Like some whole big old real fight where the bodyguards had to come in. It was just all crazy. So right then and there, I got a contractual obligation with Ruthless, and then my manager, which was in turn the production company that was signed to Ruthless, they weren't getting along. So I feel like with Tamika, she just fulfilled like the minimum things that she had to do as a record label in that contract. So basically, when I was supposed to go on Rap City and do my interview and then bust a freestyle and all that shit, Tamika went on there and did an interview. Like, you have no album coming out. You just like the CEO. Like, why are you on Rap City? But she went on Rap City and did my interview. So it was like she was killing my record. Tamika Wright was killing my record, like assassinating her own label type of thing. So it's like it was just terrible, bro. Like when my album came out, she didn't ship. She didn't ship the amount of albums that she was supposed to ship. It was just bad all the way around. Like the Tamika thing was bad. It was like 9/11 happened when my album came out on Ruthless, and it was just like all these things happened, and they made it to like let me see, to like they made me like the scapegoat, because it was really everybody else's fault, but then they made me the scapegoat. Like, oh yeah, well they put it all on me. But it was really because they didn't get along and Tamika wasn't kicking money into the promotion. It was just terrible over there, bro. It was like the worst. I could have just stayed signed to Entre.
I don't understand why she steal your interview. That doesn't make any sense. Like, you should be promoting your own album.
She went psycho, crazy, like, for real. Like, it was wild. I remember one time we went to this thing. I went to this, like, Grand Prix thing. And, like, the people at the race car people gave me this watch. It was like super expensive ass watch they gave me, right? And the fucking manager, the vice president at Ruthless stole my watch.
What?
It was like that varmint over there, like for real. Jason Willoughby or whatever his name, not Willoughby, but Jason something, stole the watch that the race car people gave me. It was like super weird, bro. Like just like that incident, like a whole bunch of other ones. Yeah, it was just like terrible, bro. Like, and this is before social media, so it was just like, man, it was like a Ruthless nightmare, man. It was like when I started working with them, it was like killing my career, like, because I was already cool. I was already doing my thing, and then like to work with those people, it was like not good for my career. It was like a bad business move. From the managers all the way down. Like everybody, it was all bad business. All of it.
Truthfully, though, I don't blame you for going over there because Ruthless Records in the rap game has such a prestigious name, right? So when you probably heard Ruthless, you're probably like, cha-ching, sign me up. You know what I mean? So I don't blame you, man. Like, I probably would have made the same mistake if I was in your shoes as well, because it's Ruthless, it's Eazy-E. When you hear Ruthless, you think of NWA, you know, you think of the DOC. So, man, honestly, I wouldn't beat yourself up over it. It's a learning experience, and you still went on to have an amazing career.
When I was on Ruthless, all I used to hear was like, man, if Eazy was alive, it would have been so much cooler for you because he would have really loved you. He would have been like, boom, boom, and really worked your shit and like really, you know, understood it. And it was like, it wasn't right, man. It was like wrong, especially for me at that time because it was like, you know, it was kind of bad. So it was like the management was going against each other and putting me in the middle of it, and then sending me on promotional tours like I'm way in Texas, and they really just bashing up the business. So I'm out of state while they like destroying the business aspect of it. I'm like in Louisiana. It's just like, man, it was crazy, bro. it was a nightmare. I would never want to sign to a label like that, bro. If they, I feel like the business was bad, bro. Just total bad business.
And also in 2001, when the album you were talking about, that unfortunately you didn't really get a chance to promote, was your debut album called Street Fractions, which I have to say, you know, a dope album, one of my absolute favorites by you. But I have to ask, how did that iconic record come to be? What's the inspiration behind that record?
The inspiration behind the record was Dr. Dre. It was just like Dr. Dre, man, like producing something that, you know, I could play for Dr. Dre, and he was going, you know what I'm saying, feel it, make sure it's like to that stature, to that level, like that stronger mixes, that clarity, that, you know, like that West Coast stuff, that real West Coast. That's why you always hear me say that real West Coast, because like I'm doing music. When I do music, it's, you know, it's let me see, it's a pecking order to this. I feel like Dr. Dre and them are at the top of the pecking order. Then you got Snoop, then you got Corrupt. You know what I'm saying? And in that pecking order, I'm there though. Like up under the dog, up under Daz and Corrupt and them, then it's Baby S. But it's like a lot of people like want to skip that, but you can't skip it. Like you're gonna have to keep coming back in full circle, because it's like they give a lot of other people props in this business, right? But then if you're throwing my music and throwing their music, it's like lyrically, it's like we're not even on the same. We're not there together. Like, it's not the same kind of music. You know what I mean? It's just like, it's weird, bro. It's like weird, man. But then, like, people get surprised when I'm playing shit, and they're like, oh, man, this is like, oh, man, I didn't think, like, why didn't you think that? Like, you didn't think that because, like, what? Like, it's just crazy, man. The music business is crazy, bro. But it's still always going to be that pecking order. It's still always going to be Baby S, Corrupt and Baby S, or what, vice versa. We the Freaky, the Cypress Hill, High Life. You know, and like a lot of people don't know. Like, I was signed to Swab House. Like, I'm probably at that time, back in the day, I was like the only dude out of LA working with like the Swab House and like down south record labels and doing songs with 8-Ball, and you know what I'm saying? Just it's everything's changed now, but like in my time, it was like I was the only person working down south outside of like Snoop being on No Limit or something.
I actually did not even know you were signed down south, man. That actually just blew my mind.
Yeah, I was. See, what happened was I went down. Okay, before I signed to Ruthless, I was gonna sign to Swab House. So I went down there. They gave me like 15 racks, which I wasn't signing for 15,000. I was asking for like 150,000 upfront in advance, and then you make the album. But I guess I was asking for too much stuff, but. I mean, I was shooting for the high. But they gave me like 15,000 when I went down there to have a meeting with them, just in good faith. And then we recorded like an EP, like when I was right there. So it was like a couple, like 4 or 5 songs. And I did one with 8-Ball. And he ended up putting the song I did with 8-Ball on 8-Ball album, Lay It Down. And then the other songs, he put them on a Tony Draper compilation, La La La, whatever, because I ended up signing with Ruthless. Because they came with the full thing. Because I don't know what they were trying to do at Swab House. I think they were just trying to give me a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there. And, just like the ghetto business that I really wasn't trying to do when I had real offers on the table. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, but, I mean, I was working with T-Mix. T-Mix is dope. He did that Gangsters Make the World Go Around. Like, the music was dope. Like, even when I listen to it to this day, it's like that music is dope that we were working on, though. Like, if we'd have did the album with Swab House, it would have been dope. But would I have got my money? Would have had a dope album, but they would have probably, like, tried to rip me on the cash, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. But, I think that would have been a great album, truthfully, man. I really do. Just 8-Ball, Baby S, tearing it up. That would have been fucking sick.
Yeah, but we did the one song. We got one song for history purposes, me and 8-Ball, but, we could have did a lot more stuff, but it is what it is. You know how it is.
Music industry, people go separate ways, things change, unfortunately, but maybe someday, you'll get a chance to work with some of them guys again.
I mean, I'm still working with people. I mean, I'm working with people right now, but it's just like, I don't even know what Tony Draper's doing right now. I mean, he could be doing some stuff, but I really don't know exactly what he's doing,
But also, before we move on from the topic of street fractions, one of my favorite music videos you did is for "I'm Ghetto," which is on the Street Fractions record. I'm gonna have to ask, what was it like filming that music video?
Oh yeah, that was a big video, man. We jumped up at like, I think I was on set at like 5 in the morning. We started shooting like 5:30. It was like a majorly big production, like a whole. I think it took like, we used one day. I want to say we did that video in one day, an entire day. So that would be like 5:30 in the morning until like 10:30 at night type of thing. It could have been more than that, but yeah, it was a big production, man. A lot of ladies, a lot of people, a lot of everything, man. It was like one of the biggest productions I worked on. I mean, outside of the thing I did with Lazy Bone, but this one was a little bit different because I had to do all the rapping. So that was, that's the, it was just a lot more work for me doing that video.
And man, I remember when that music video hit Much Music Vibe down here in Canada. Man, I loved it when I was a youngin.
Oh yeah, that's dope, bro. Yeah, I didn't even know. I got my bird in the background trying to get on the interview. So yeah, that's dope, bro. That you right there in Canada.
Yeah, man. Honestly, man, like we don't get a lot of rap concerts here in Canada, but we do. Back in the day, we had Much Music. I don't know if you heard of it. It's kind of like MTV, but it's like the Canadian version. So we had the top 20 countdown, music videos, and all that. We had our own little rap station as well. It was actually pretty cool. We don't have them anymore, unfortunately. They all switched over like MTV, but unfortunately, times change.
Right, that's like the box back in the day, man. The box used to be cracking where you call in and you request a video.
Oh man, those are the golden days, man.
Yeah, I don't even know. Did they have a box in Canada?
They kind of had this thing called Punch Much, which is like you had to like, this is right at the peak of cell phones, so you could just like text like #549 or something like that, and then you type the name of the song, and then you can vote for it like over the TV. That's the only closest thing that we really had here in Canada.
Oh yeah, see, yeah, times change, man. Now it's all about the internet now.
Yeah, unfortunately, man. But speaking of times changing, man, one of my favorite video games when I was a kid was True Crime Streets of LA, man. I have to say I sat back many times and killed a lot of people in that game to your music, man. I have to ask, how does it feel knowing your music is in a video game?
Oh man, it felt great, man. And they actually, they changed pretty good with that that video game soundtrack, man. They had a nice big party, and I got paid pretty good on it. And, it was a real big history thing, having something like that. I feel blessed to have my music on a video game, man. That was like a really big deal for me. And also, Casino Mafia was on that. That's my crew, Lonnie Mac 11, and Famous. It was pretty big, man, for real.
You also have your own Banzai vape brand called the Baby S cartridge. How did you land that brand? And can you tell our listeners where we can buy some?
Okay, well that brand, for about 5 or 6 years, I was working with Evasive Angles. I don't know if you was familiar with Evasive Angles, but we that was actually like they did like booty movies, and they were based in Los Angeles. And it was like, they had a popular line of movies, Big Fat Apple Bottoms and all kind of stuff that we did together. And I did like the soundtracks on the movies, and the girls would dance, la la la. So that company stopped doing those movies and went into the vape business. And when they, when my boy that owns the company, Peachy Boy, he's a real popular porno guy. When he started that company, he called me up like, man, I got this new product, man. I need you to come check it out. I didn't even know what it was. So I'm like, he basically showed me what it was and like turned me on to it and stuff. And I'm just like, man, well, you need to give me a Baby S branded one. And that's my boy. We go back with the music and the movies and stuff. And he hooked me up and gave me my own line within Banzai Vapes. So that was the distributor, Banzai Vape, and they did the Baby S cartridge. That's my boy TT Boy, and that worked out pretty good for us over the last 2 years.
That's crazy, man. I gotta ask, are they still available for purchase? And if so, could you let our listeners know where we can buy some?
We stopped for a while and switched the product up. So it's been the last 2 years that we've been doing the Baby S pen. This year I haven't been doing 2020. As of 2020, I haven't been doing the Baby S pen with them. But we're gonna come back to doing it maybe in the summertime. But as far as right now, we need to work a whole new deal up for the new brand of the pen because they switched the brand up. They literally switched up the actual cartridge itself and the packaging. So, we're in the works of doing a new one. So that would probably be by the summer or like the winter time that we'll have that together.
Oh, nice, man. Good. Looking forward to that. In March 2018, you released an album called Unlimited. What is the inspiration behind that great record, and where can our listeners buy themselves a digital or a hard copy?
Okay, so right now it's available on the digital, Apple Music, Spotify, Napster, Amazon, Google, and then, also I'll be doing a hard copy. But right now it's just been about so much digital that I've just been, I've kept that digital. But my last couple albums before that, I did hard copies, but just this one right here, Unlimited, I did digital. But I think I'm gonna start doing presses of the hard copy. I just felt like, I was on the car the other day and it didn't even have a CD player in it, and that's like, okay, do people still listen to these CDs? I'm like wondering, like, is it better just to keep it digital or go CD because they're not even putting them in cars nowadays. It's just like, I don't know what to do. But yeah, I probably end up just doing a hard copy of it. But right now it's available, Amazon, Spotify, all the digital outlets, Instagram. You can like put it up in the music of the Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. It's available. And then the inspiration for that album is the inspiration of the title Unlimited is that I'm saying that I'm unlimited. Like, I can keep doing these songs forever. Like, I'm unlimited. And, like, I try to get better with every one. And, like, lyrically, if you ever listen to my albums, lyrically, it'd be like a rise. Like my lyrics get better for each album. Because I'm still in the study of the music. Like, I'm still, like, studying the music. It's not like I feel like I mastered the music. I'm still trying to be better all the time. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, most definitely, man. You're trying to outdo yourself every single time, man.
Right. I'm just kidding, man. Basically, you just like that.
So, I also saw on your Instagram that a couple days ago this month, you released an album called Baby S Forever that was recorded in 2007, but it wasn't released until now. What made you decide to now release that album?
I decided to release it because it's just sitting in my computer. And it's just like, all the music is like a stamp of the time. So it's just like, even today I released the album that I recorded in 2003. And it's just like, lyrically, I mean, today, but it's like, I like the songs on it. I got Casey and Joey over there, whatever. But the point is, it's just a mark of that time. So, like, when I can look back at it, like, 20 years from now, I can look back at it like, oh, yeah, I recorded that 2003, 2004, 2005, because I'm always doing something every year. But it's like, I really do like to listen to my old lyrics to see where I was, and like, that time. It's just that time stamp, what I was going through, or like, honestly, like, stuff like that, back in the day stuff. I might say something like, man, let me go back there and grab my cigarettes. I don't even smoke cigarettes no more, so I love to hear me saying, oh, let me go get my cigarettes, because I know I ain't smoked cigarettes in like 7 years. I like to hear it. I like to hear me say, oh, man, I need a cigarette. I'm like, it's just like, damn. I just listen to that just to hear my young funk, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's
just
pretty
crazy.
Cool, man, that you actually quit smoking as well. I quit smoking almost 2 years ago. January 9th, 2018, I quit smoking.
Yeah, it's about to be my 8th year. I haven't smoked a cigarette. It really did. Smoking cigarettes on accident. It was an accident, bro, because I switched over to the different, like, like those vape cigarettes or whatever. And like, I had got the kind that you put the juice in. And then, like, I sat on it. I put it in my back pocket and sat on it. And then when I went to hit it, I sucked up all the juice. And it was just like, It was like the worst taste ever. So I'm like, oh, man, I ain't going to smoke that. And I realized that 4 days went by, and I didn't smoke it. And I'm like, damn, I ain't smoked nothing in 4 days. And I'm like, man, I'm like, I'm gonna take that as I quit smoking. Like, I'm gonna take that advantage and not even smoke no more because I thought I was just gonna die from smoking cigarettes because we smoke cigarettes so much. So I'm like, I'm never gonna stop smoking cigarettes. It's too hard to stop smoking cigarettes. You smoke talking to the homie, you smoke drinking, you smoke after you eat, you smoke for everything. So I'm just like, now that I don't. Now, those 4 days after I stopped smoking, I'm like, I'm never gonna smoke a cigarette again. I just kept it going. And now it's about to be 8 years.
That's not bad, man. That's the same way I thought the same thing to myself as well. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to quit. You know what I mean? Then one day I went to buy a pack of cigarettes and it was like $15 and shit here in Canada, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? So I actually in my head did the math. I'm like, wow, man, I could have bought a car. Like, you know, with all the money I spent. So I literally just told the cashier, I'm like, nah, I don't want them. I walked out and never smoked again.
Hey, but like for the first year, 2 years, man, like every time I would smell one, it was like, oh, I want a cigarette. I want a cigarette like for like 2 years after. Like every time I smell one, I want one. But like when I see like the homies that do smoke cigarettes and that I want to hear a conversation, it's like, man, I want to hit that, but I just never did it.
You ever noticed now that it's been so long that you hate the smell of it now? It smells like shit now.
Well, for me. When people smoke around me, it's like super strong. Like my folks came, like my brother came over the other day, he still smoked. And it was just like, I was driving them around because they came over, you know, they drove to my house. You know, I'm kind of far away from him, so he drove over here. And it was like I was driving the car. I was driving him around in the car that came out here in. And they were smoking in the car, and it was just like, it was killing me, man. I'm like, ah. It was like my lungs were hurting from secondhand. It was like, ah. Man, I can't even be around cigarettes like that no more, bro. It's like that's the worst.
Hey, man, at least I know it's not only me now that has that same feeling, man.
Hell yeah, man! I got to stay away from the cigarettes. I don't even mind the weed. I don't mind the weed like that, but it's like I don't really smoke blunt. I don't smoke blunts no more unless I'm like I go to my barber shop or something like that, and my barber smokes the blunt. I might tap it twice. Tap it one time, but I mean, I can't even smoke blunts no more like that. So I'm dreading like, man, I'm gonna be in a studio. I'm just thinking like, damn, I might be in a studio with like some of the big homies. I might be in a studio with like Daz or like Snoop or something. You know, Daz, man, that's big weed. But I'm like, man, I can only take 2 hits now. I drop a whole song. I drop a verse off two hits. It gotta be some fire though. It can't be like no boom. If it's no boom, I can smoke that all day. But if it's some fire, I can take 2 hits of that shit and drop a verse. Boom, 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 drop the verse. Take 2 more hits, drop the hook. It's like I won't just sit there and smoke a whole blunt. I don't have to do that no more. Like my tolerance level is like that shit is like I can just get buzzed off 2 hits, bro. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, man, it's just times, you know what I mean? Everybody's getting older, you know. But I have to ask, baby, what's next for you, man?
I went to the gym, bro. I went to the gym. I think all that sweating and shit, it like washed my blood out. It made me like really like fuck my shit up. It messed up my tolerance. So now I'm just like, fuck. Like I be going to the studio. It's like I stay with the tree, but it's like, man, I gotta take it easy, man. I can keep like a pee. I can keep a pee for like a fucking year. Like, damn, bro. Keeping it real, man.
Hey, man.
I'm saving hella money on weed right now.
It's a good thing, man. You know, it's a good thing. You know, saving money is the best way to do it, man. I have to ask, baby, what's next for you, man?
Shit, right now I'm just working on music. Right now, what's next? I'm doing an album with me and Lonnie Mac. Is doing an album, and then we're gonna do Casino. So this new album I'm doing right now, we like basically done. We just about to do the artwork and shoot the video. So it's me and Lonnie Mac 11, and I think we naming the group. See, before Casino, before all this rap, before all this other stuff, me and Lonnie had a group called 310. So, cause I used to go to his house in Inglewood, and I used to just be like, we'd be over there like freestyling on the table. This when I was in high school. We'd like turn on like put the radio on, smoke some Stress, smoke some $5 weed, and then we'd like be rapping around the table. And our group was called 310 back then. So it's like Lonnie got his studio now, like for this shit. So we recorded this album. And we like, man, let's just keep the original name, when it was just me and you, 310, because Casino is the whole crew. That's like Famous, Ronnie Mac, me, Biggie. It's your E-Mac. It's like a lot of people in Casino. So this album that I'm doing, that's coming up next, is me and Ronnie Mac, 310. And like, we got a track from Papa on the beat. We got that's gonna be one of the singles. West Coast Stone is doing some hooks on the album, because West Coast Stone is like, man, he's like a really good producer. But when I work with Stone is like my brother. When I work with Stone be taking forever sometimes. So I'm like, all right, look, I'm just gonna have Stone sing on this album, and then I'm gonna have my boy Bass Guy make the beat, and it's gonna save Stone a lot of trouble, and I can just get him on the hooks. You know what we're talking about, West Coast Stone, right?
Oh yeah, we actually had him on the show, man. Very, very cool guy, man. Very cool guy.
That's my brother right there, though. We love West Coast Stone. But he on the album, and we're gonna call the album Why Not? Me and Lonnie Mac. It's probably gonna be called the 310. But that's gonna be like the next thing I'm doing. And then, my new Baby S album, I'm still working on my album right now. So I'm like, my next album is like, I'm working on that right now. Like, I only got probably 3 or 4 songs for my album, because I've been focusing on the album with Lonnie. I've been putting everything on the album with Lonnie Mac. So all the good beats, all the hooks, it's just like everything's going there. But then, before I even do my next album, my daughter is about to come out with her album. And my daughter is super fly, though. Like, she's like the reincarnated Baby S.
Hey, that's what's up, man. You should bring her on one of your records.
I am. That's why I was telling her, like, I'm about to go record her next week for a song that we're going to do a video for. But that's going to be for me and her. And I'll probably have her on the album with Lonnie Mac too, though. But man, she dope, man. Like, she really dope. Like, her message is like real deep, and like, it's just crazy, bro. Like, sometimes I be listening to my daughter, I'm like, wow, like, she's snapping right now, and she's real deep. Like, she's real deep with what she's saying. Like, the message is deep. So I'm really glad about that. Like, I'm really proud of her, and it's gonna be a good thing. And then her mom was signed to MCA back in the day, so it's like, both of her parents are like really musical. So my daughter sings too. She's a rapper, but she sings too. But it's like, it's just like really dope, bro. It's like a really dope. She's dope.
Well, it's definitely, like they say, man, like father, like daughter, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, for real.
So I have to say,
yeah,
baby,
man,
this is the time during the interview that I give a chance for the individual that comes on my show, a chance to give shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to, and also their social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you on all your platforms if they're not already doing so.
Okay, yeah, you can find me on Instagram, Baby S the Rapper, all one word, Baby S the Rapper. And then Facebook, everything is Baby S the Rapper. And on Twitter, it's Baby S Shark Tank. It's Baby S _ Shark Tank on Twitter. And then what else we got? Oh yeah, YouTube. My channel's Baby S, but it's probably easier just to look up, type of Baby S Unlimited, and then click on the video, and then go to the channel. It'll be Baby S. And then let me see, Spotify's Baby S. All the albums are there. My album Unlimited is my last album. Get My Edge. That album is on fire. Hydrogen Power is just pure classic. Cinematic is like my album that's it's like real traditional to it's like real G-Funk type of album, just keeping that West Coast tradition going. And then I think I got like 10 albums up right now, man. Just type up capital BAY-S and it's gonna pop up. And then shout out wise, give a shout out to Famous, all homies from East Coast Crib, Lonnie Mac, Capone, E-Mac the Fee, my wife Ruby, my daughter Jalen, everybody, AJ the Barber, YJ, Snoop, Corrupt, Daz, all the big homies in the music business, TT Boy, Bonsai Vape, everybody that's supporting Baby Blast Entertainment, Shari Henry, let me see, my sons, Joel, Davey, all the rap homies, Yuck Mouth, Gonzo, San Quinn, Keith the Sneak, E40, rest in peace, Badass, Miss Toy. Man, that's the homegirl. Roscoe, Rough Dog, Bass God, my producer. West Coast Stoner. Let me see. All the homies in Sacramento. You know, my boy Gino, super dope. Big E, Fish Mode. Let me see. Man, it's hard to just off the head, man. I'll be like, damn, I forgot this fool. But Rodney O, we didn't even go into the Rodney O thing. I learned how to produce over Rodney O house. Shout out to Rodney O, all the homies from 6-0, Big Cat, Pac-Man, rest in peace Nipsey, Battle Cat, Amplified, man, everybody, man, they be showing love. Doc Free, rest in peace Emmanuel Dean, Big Reg, everybody over at Evasive Angles, and I think that's it. Pops, Moms, Cali D, Big Kane. Man, so many names and names. I can't even keep going, man. I'll probably be sitting on here all night, bro.
It's all good, man. It's all good. I do want to say, Baby Yes, man, thank you so much for coming up on Outlaw Radio Live, man. I do want to say quickly before I get you off the air, thank you so much for everything you've done for the hip-hop culture, man. Thank you so much for all the amazing years of music, you know. You really actually defined my younger years, man, so thank you so much for your contribution to hip-hop, man, and I'm looking forward to hearing your newest projects.
Yeah, man, thank you, man. Y'all have a good one, man, for real.
You are most certainly welcome, man. Have yourself a wonderful night, you know. I'm looking forward to hearing those projects, man. Have yourself a wonderful night, man. God bless.
God bless, bro.